It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Good morning, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. My name is Heath, and this is Hangout with Humanity. Today, I am going to do a little more work on my Z Scale layout. I have not actually pre-checked that any of this is going to work, so we're just going to go along for the ride. And while this is rolling, we've got the Model Railroad live stream showing up on the left side of your screen. If you have a live stream and you don't see yourself there, please let myself or John at Schuylkill River Valley know. Or, just, join in the community and check out a new live stream that maybe you haven't seen before and one that you find on the list. So let's say hello to some people and check in and see who is here first. If I could use my mouse, it would be much easier. There we go. We got Bang Got You Junction Carl. We got Catnuts Southern Yankee Railroad Colin Wykes joining us as well. We have Dwight Curley in the house. Joey from Late Night Model Railway is here as well. Dad Cook's joining us. Andy Ambrose checking in. First time we've seen him in a little while. We have Andrew Mr. Pictovid is here as well. Nisi J in the house. Sea and Air Model Railroad. We also have Ray Boble, one of the Sidetrack Sunday members, as well as John from Schuylkill River Valley, another Sidetrack Sunday member. Roy Eltham in the house. We have Steve Childers here as well. Tim's Trains, Modeling and Adventures, welcome, welcome. And Z Fantasy Trains is here as well. Thank you for people that are coming in. As you can see, I'm already getting trolled. Where all of Heath's streams are a test. Yes, that is true. Frank Steeler fan is always here to give me a hard time. Yeah, I like being about the discovery. The discovery is what I find the most interesting about model railroading. So that's ultimately what I focus on, is that discovery. And I enjoy just sort of showing that process and hanging out. So for my live streams, that's how I'm formatting them, as just, hangout sessions. We can all just kind of get together. So I did do a test it didn't go so well, so I'm using what is this called? StreamYard today. So there's a little bit of a mix of what's going to be the new setup and what I've been using. So you'll see a little bit, of a mix of both. I do have a couple people checking in the basement already. So let's bring everybody up and we'll say hello. We have Steve Childers, Shane's Trains, and Andy Step. I hope I said that moderately correctly. So, Steve, as a regular around here, how's things going in your world, and what are you working on these days?
Wonderful. I've been working on the farm and the Aurora Roundhouse areas. As you can see back there, I've got the sculpt the mold, the smooth it, and everything done back there. But the bigger challenge was the ballasting through both scenes. And this morning I've cleaned up the track and run test trains through just to make sure that everything is copacetic.
Sounds good. It must be nice to be able to run some trains. One day I hope to do that as well. And Z Fantasy Trains is asking if I can mute people now. Uh, I've always been able to mute
No.
people. The problem is with StreamYard, you can't tell who is making the noise to know who to mute. So with the new setup, I have audio meters and I'll be able to identify very quickly when Steve's making noise and he shouldn't be. So, so Shane, what's new with you? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've been working on the layout some. I finally got a chance to get some turnouts thanks to the Biden stimulus. That's I didn't vote for the guy, but I appreciate the money. Right now, working on a couple of
Be hell to pay back.
offers.
Yeah.
There's a open house tomorrow in a city near me that I'm going to be attending. A club open house, and I'm taking my DT&I GP40, so I figured I'd fix these up real quick. I got a couple of these. I got a McKean one, and I got a front range one. So I'm just fixing those up so I can run them tomorrow.
I think it's so awesome how you do a lot of, they're not necessarily scratch builds, but you do a lot of modifications to your rolling stock. And I personally think that's really interesting to see as somebody who's terrified to touch their rolling stock because it'll probably never work again once I do.
Can I give you a really good tip that someone gave me?
Absolutely. We love tips around here.
You take all your El Cheapo, super, cheap Bachman and all that type of stuff, and you modify that, and that's what you practice on. So that way, when you mess it up, which is likely because it's it's your first time weathering, it's your first time doing details, whatever, it's not as big a loss if you mess it up.
And that's actually one of the things I'm really looking forward to some of the train shows for, is that you go and you pull the boxes out that are under people's tables where they've got their 50-cent and dollar-cent parts cars, and you buy a couple beat up shells. So definitely looking forward to that.
Those are the best boxes at the whole show.
Absolutely. So Andy, you're new around here. Welcome to the show. Why don't you let people know a little bit who you are, whether you have a YouTube channel that you're putting videos up on, and what people might see if they come join you over there.
Well, I do not have a YouTube channel, and but I'm an O-scaler. Your neighbor, live right up the island from you.
Oh, awesome.
O-scaler. So I'm building some O-scale cars, British cars, and I use the cry-cut machine to cut them out. So I start with the drawing and then feed it into the computer. Then they cut it out and end up with the sides and start putting it all together.
And you also have a really cool day job, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I work at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Make mounts for
Oh, cool.
them.
So you basically get to model professionally to some extent in a museum, and then come home and do some O-scale stuff as well.
Exactly.
So Andy and I actually met at an NMRA. Was it NMRA X or was it a different?
I think so. It was in the chat of the NMRAX.
Yeah.
and then in person at a kid's soccer game. So thanks for coming by.
And I'm trying to convince him to start a YouTube channel as well, but what one day at a time. If I keep bringing it up enough, maybe he'll join us one day.
Yeah, true.
And before I get working on my project, there is one other person down in the basement. He has nicknamed himself the Troublemaker, and I would not disagree. If you don't know, that's Frank Steeler Fan 820. Frank,
Hi guys.
Frank, how's things going?
Frank's not.
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just waiting on some mail here. I ordered some more stuff from your sponsor, so I'm waiting
Oh,
for
fantastic.
What'd you say, Pete?
I just said fantastic. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I've been wanting a couple more locomotives, so I ordered some more from him.
Oh, cool. What'd you get?
The Bachmann Sound Value Berkshire in the rail fan version. I believe that's the nickel plate road name. I may repaint that. Put it to the New York Central P&LE. Since that's my road.
Yeah.
And nobody produces a New York Central P&LE Berkshire, so I'll make my own.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Andy Ambrose is asking, Andy, modeling British, he said outline, which I'm not exactly sure if is that what it is, British outline?
That is the terminology they use. Yes,
now
British.
You're also, to give people a little more details, you're 2-rail O, not 3-rail, correct?
Two rail O. So get a nice big car. This is a 20-foot passenger car. So in O scale, it scales out to the same size as a 40-foot HO car.
Nice.
Andy, I appreciate people that go O scale and also appreciate 2-rail instead of that ugly 3rd rail.
Yes. 3 rails.
Okay, now we're all model railroaders. Let's not pick on the 3-rail guys. Just because they need that extra rail because they're handicapped by their choice of modeling.
They don't know how to wire a reverse loop. That's why they want the 3rd rail.
I know. There are some advantages to it. That's for sure. But yeah, it's cool. Andy is actually from the UK, so that's Andy's from the Andy Ambrose is from the UK, modeling a US railroad, and Andy
Really?
on screen is from the US, modeling a British railroad. So that's I think maybe I've got some of that correct.
I'll tell you what, you get those two guys together, to stop the space-time continuum.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll get Andy to come up here and he can talk about the new haircut that he's getting.
So what else is new, Heath? Did you try out that sound thing?
I haven't actually. It's still sitting where. Oh, that sound thing. No, it's still in the box underneath. It's
kind of got your speaker by now.
Oh yeah. I got since you're here, I got just these little speakers because it said, I looked up the instructions and it said it was a 1.5 watt 8 ohm device or whatever.
Well, what I had wired to it was just I cut the wire off computer speaker set. It had the substitute. I just used one of the speakers. That's all I used.
Yeah, I just
I didn't
these
compare
were
the settings.
these were really cheap, and I figured that I would break these first, and then move on and try something else. But
I just get it.
I do actually want to. People probably can't see it from here, but it's a little. It's been stored in a little bit of a dirty place, so I'm going to do probably a little scrub on it.
Well, you're
as
welcome
well.
to come clean my basement.
I don't even clean my space. Why would I clean your space?
And I see the Digikeijs there. Is that the 40? I forget the number. I'm not near mine.
Yeah. So let's before I get into that, give me one. Thanks, Rick Bailey, giving us a super sticker. And if you guys notice, if you can see on my window, so part of why I want to switch to a new solution is you can see I've actually got scrolling along the bottom a little ticker showing people that have given super stickers recently. And if I hide my name for a second, you can see there's a little bar there. So Boulder Creek Yard gave $5. When was it? On Monday. And then Rick just gave $4. So now you can see we're $9 on my way towards a goal to get some wheels for my desk so that I can move stuff around. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to the new stuff. And there's somebody in the basement that I don't really recognize, but I'm very confused. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Are you new around here?
Yeah.
Where did the hair go? If people don't know, go look at like pictures of like Gandalf or what were we calling you the other day? The drunken sailor?
Yeah.
Captain Morgan?
Yeah, Andy was looking.
They called me all sorts of names. None of them complimentary.
They were all complimentary.
I think
So,
they were
what?
married to the hairstyle.
Yeah, I don't even.
Sorry.
I don't even recognize you now.
I had the hair cut off and the beard cut off in aid of the first anniversary of NMRAX.
Ah, okay.
And like sponsored for Myo something or other disease research or something.
Andy, where are you located in the UK?
I'm about 40 miles north of London.
Okay. I was just on the phone with somebody in Oxford today. What a beautiful accent she had.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's not that good.
Oh, your accent's great too, but yeah, she was very pleasant to talk to. Representative from eBay.
Right. Have eBay got an office in Oxford then?
Yes.
Goodness.
Or at least they have support people in Oxford.
Yeah.
But yeah. So are you in a different room, or is there just more light right now because we usually see you at your like 4 a.m. or something. So I think this is maybe one of the first times we're seeing you during the day.
It is daytime and the window's open and we've got sunshine in England. It's pretty amazing.
Lots of firsts.
Yeah, she said the weather was there nice today.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good change.
I was thinking of even going out for a walk, but I decided against that. Too much effort.
You've already cleaned up the beard. You don't want to, one step at a time.
I was up late last night. I mean,
yeah.
Wasn't it 6 a.m. here when we got off last night, Heath, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. In addition, some people mentioned NMRAX this weekend. There's also the Pacific Coast Region NMRA convention as well. So
yeah,
it's Pacific time though. So I think NMRAX is on a little earlier, and then they'll overlap a little bit, and then Pacific Coast Region will roll on for a while. So lots of clinics, lots of education and stuff going on this weekend.
Yeah, I'm hosting a presentation on logging in the Sierra Mountains.
Oh,
on the
awesome.
Pacific.
So being an expert in logging, do you want to just give us a little brief overview of what the what the conversation's going to be about?
No, you already know, don't you? I know nothing about logging in the Sierra Mountains. I had to look them up on a map.
There's some very interesting videos. One guy actually put a historic video out about the logging in Yosemite and what. It was pretty good watch.
Yeah, there's a guy that John Abatacola has on quite a lot, isn't there? And his name is just
Yeah.
at the moment.
God, what is his name? I forgot.
I can't help you either.
I've only been to Yosemite once. It was beautiful. Couldn't imagine railroads running through there.
Oh, Jack Burgess.
That's it, Jack Burgess.
Yeah.
Jack Burgess, yeah.
Yeah, and he's Pacific Coast region, so he's bound to be on there. So what I will do, I will just sort of. So Jack, tell us about the Sierra Mountains and logging.
Especially Christmas trees, Rick.
And that's all a host needs to do. And Rick the Tree Bailey is a little nervous talking about logging, so maybe we should move off that subject so we don't scare him.
Sorry, Rick, I don't want to offend any of your family members, mate.
Let's not tell him what his layout is made out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine isn't. Mine is made of plastic, the whole thing.
The one in the office is all plastic?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Keith from CAMP Railroad, here to a stream for installing those wheels. Sure, it'll be a blast. Sorry, Andy, didn't mean to cut you off as you were talking about logging.
It's all right, I'm used to being cut off, especially on the northeastern region when you're there.
We do talk much faster, and we do jump in much faster to fill the gaps than you do, and you're much more comfortable with what do they call that? Silence. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh, I thought that was Steve that was more comfortable with that. Times you keep muting him.
Yeah.
Steve laughs. It sounds like a disembodied voice.
Oh, poor guy.
Sorry.
Can I ask Andy?
I'm akin to Rodney Dangerfield.
I get no respect.
That's it.
Andy, you have a question for Andy?
Yeah, I was going to say, what part of the British line is it? Is Great Western?
London, Brighton, Southwestern.
Oh, right. Cool. And
Do you know where that is, Andy?
Yes.
Have you been there?
Yes. Yes, it's the Waterloo line out of Waterloo, basically.
And Andy E, have you been there?
The Bluebell.
Oh yeah, the Bluebell's gorgeous.
Yeah,
they've got some very original stock. And a lot of the films that you see, that you might see, I don't know what you see over there and what you don't, but things like Poirot, the Agatha Christie things, lots of those are filmed on the Bluebell because the Bluebell has got the original stock from them, back from the 20s and 30s, and that's still running. Yeah.
It is amazing to be able to ride on a coach that's from the 1870s and it's all restored. Unlike almost anything here, you can't really ride on things like that.
No, but I'm jealous because you've got the big boy and things like that. We haven't. Yeah, I've just had a bit of that, all plastic. The baseboard is foam, and all the mountings are also foam. They're just spray foam that you use for cavity wall insulation, the expanding polystyrene foam. And when we first put the mountings up, we just sprayed the whole layout with it and forgot the bit that says on the can that said expanding. So I've gone into the office on the Monday morning. We've had to cut it all back and everything because it's covered the tracks and part of Jazz's desk. Oh, terrible.
If there's people here that don't know, Andy Ambrose's layout is actually at work, right? So it's not in your home.
No.
It's at your office. So you sprayed the foam on Friday, came back on Monday to a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
A little surprise.
Yeah.
You know, they do make I won't call it non-expanding, but less expanding foam too.
Excuse me.
Yeah. The stuff I want to try is there's this new like polystyrene. It's almost like how you mix epoxy. It's like a part A and a part B, and you mix it together and it's foam. And there's some model railroaders that I've seen that have started using it. I can, if people want to give me a second, I can look on Amazon. I've got it saved in my cart just because at some point I think I want to get some. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Here we go. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. So it's True Composites liquid urethane pour foam base, 2-part closed cell rigid pour foam. I can't remember whose channel I saw it on. I do know where I saw it on. Model Railroading Live did this Empire Builders series, and one of the modelers on that series was talking about this stuff. So I don't know, honestly. I'm actually curious, Andy E., if you have any experience with this in your line of work, but I'm not really sure.
I really have not seen this. Is it expanding or it's not expanding? It's hard to.
I mean, it's a liquid, so it must expand a little bit to become the foam, but I don't know how much it expands. I just know instead of using like a Sculptamold, let's say, on your mountain, you would build your structure, and then you would put this on your structure instead of Sculptamold, and it would give you, a rocky looking.
If that's 1 gallon of expanding foam, I'd love to see you mix the whole gallon on your desk.
Maybe when I get an office, I do not think I will be doing that in my apartment. But
I can't imagine how big 1 gallon would go. Oh my god!
Yeah, it says it's a 2-pound mix, so I don't know how. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Maybe Dave P., who is filling in for Paul, who's on vacation, knows a little bit about that foam stuff we're talking about.
Nope.
Tim from CP368 Productions says it doesn't expand that much. So
it probably mixes up into sort of a really thick paste, and then you just slap that paste wherever you want, and it's got a really tacky, sticky property to it that keeps it in place.
Yeah, so
that's what
I'm looking forward to somebody on here trying it and bringing back some information. But I think it might be another Andy actually, whose last name. What's the Andy from MRL? Crawford? No, that's not right.
You're the one that makes all the mistakes, so you have to be the guinea pig.
I'm not so sure about that.
No,
Adam says that's the stuff they use to stop the sinkholes on hostile ground. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Oh, Tim says why use Thomas from Split Rock 323 says why use a product you can't control.
Well, I
don't know that you can't control it.
So what he was talking about, the sinkholes, that means they pour that stuff down in those holes to stop the ground from sinking further. It would fill in. It would fill in the void.
Or pump it in.
Gotcha. So it is structural then, I guess, to some.
Well, keep in mind that they use expanding foam under driveways to fix cracks. Have you seen the commercials before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if it's strong enough to drive a car on top of.
Steve Childers, what are you trying to say?
What Shane was talking about, they'll pump it under slabs of concrete to level. Let's see, where am I at? To level slab. And it is controllable, but you have to be extremely familiar with the product. You control it to the amount you use.
Right. So you have to you know the percentage it expands. You determine what your void size is, and then you pour appropriate for the void size.
Using it more often, you start to see how much it expands. You can mix it up at different rates, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little hint for you guys with the triple expanding foam, the stuff that gets really big. If you're around when it starts to expand, sorry, Andy, you can stop its expanding with misting it with water. Cold water will stop it. It'll form a harder outer shell and it'll stop expanding.
Yep.
Interesting.
All of the expanding foams are like that. If you mist them with water, they will begin to dry.
Gorilla glue, which is a urethane foam glue, you gotta add water to activate it.
Well, the reason I know the experience from the expanding foam is I use it. Well, Heath knows I have a pond in my waterfall. I filled in all the rocks with the black expanding foam, and as soon as it started to poke out of the rocks, I just splashed the whole waterfall and it stopped.
Well, no, for next time.
You'd love my backyard.
Yeah, science. I tell you, science is an interesting thing, isn't it?
So I was glad to help out a little bit today.
Yeah. See, Frank, you weren't so much of a troublemaker. You actually brought some information to the chat.
Well, yesterday was Earth Day here, and I'll be getting off of here shortly because we were so cold that we couldn't do anything. But the neighbors and I are going to clean up the street, and as soon as George gets over here and knocks on my door, we'll get the shovel in.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it was so cold here as well, but today I just took the dog out before this, and it was beautiful.
I was just outside while you were ramping up to coming on and pulling the plastic off my plank.
Yep. Well, you were asking earlier, Frank. So if you're gonna take off, let's just get into this. Yeah, I've got two different decoders on my desk. They're both stationary decoders. They're both from Digikeijs.
Keys.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. I never know. Everyone says it differently. So the DR4018 is a multi-protocol, multi-function stationary decoder. You can control lights with it. You can control turnouts with it.
I have two of them.
There's kind of a bunch of different things you can do with it. And one of the things I really do like about it is that signal and power can be separate if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pull your DCC power or DCC signal into it, but then use an external power supply so you're not pulling any amperage off your DCC booster or controller. Why is that funny, Steve?
Earth Day.
Oh, yeah. Plant a tree.
Rick's comment, yeah.
Rick's trying to expand the family.
Yeah.
Steve 87th PSAP is done with his meeting and world hunger is still not solved. So, but so the DR4018, you program it using JMRI or your DCC command station. It's just like programming any other stationary decoder.
I use it to control all my Bachmann turnouts. They were non-DCC. They had the old throw switch.
Yep.
You run the same three wires to those pins, and now you can enter command. Accessory 1, accessory 2, whatever on the MRC, and it throws that switch.
Yeah, you just hit the program button, and then you send a throw command out, and it'll program the stationary decoder to that channel, and then it's just 1 through 8.
Yeah.
controlling those.
So I had asked Tom a long time ago how I could control those. Was there a way I can control it? And they came out with this, and I went ahead and bought one. Then I bought another one. But that's nice because 1 through 8, and then the second one, I forget how I did it, but I was able to keep on going up the scale. Like the switches are all numbered on my.
Yeah,
plan.
you hit the program button, you throw switch 9, and then your second device is 9 through 16.
On
how you do it.
MRC, I'll pick accessory 1. That's the first switch, and then 1 or 2 will open or close the switch.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just saying you can address them to whatever you want.
Right,
It doesn't
yeah,
have to be 1 through 8. It can be 101 through 108 or whatever.
Yeah.
So stationary coders do not have their own bus line. These still run off of DCC, but while you can run these off your main bus line, because you can power them separately, you don't need to worry about shorting out your DCC controller because you can, use the other power, input. But one thing I do want to, so what I'm going to set up today, though, is the second generation of this decoder. It's got basically the same functionality as far as outputs and as far as DCC control, but what they added is Bluetooth control. So there's a Digikeijs app that I'm going to download. Theoretically, you connect the app to the stationary decoder, and you can do all of your programming and control it and all of that sort of stuff through the app directly. So you don't need JMRI, you don't need your DCC
Throttle.
You don't need to get into any of the programming with that. You just use the Bluetooth app and you can set it up and do all that stuff. So I've got my Z Scale layout on the bench, which has some 2-wire turnouts. And I've got these little 3-wire to 2-wire adapters. So if you want to use these with tortoise switches or any 2-wire turnouts, you can use these little adapters to go from the 3-wire to the 2-wire.
So that'll work with the Kato track that you have an N scaled in?
Yes, it will. It'll work with the Kato guys as well.
I was going to ask you that because I am going to set up a small N scale.
Yep. So you can use the DR4018 or the new DK50018 with the Kato turnouts, and I'm hoping with these Rokuhan turnouts as well. There is a slight chance I'm going to release some smoke. We'll find out. I'm gonna, I'll do one turnout at a time, and we'll see what happens. It could be interesting. So before I get to that, though, just to delay a little bit longer, we'll bring up Edward. Is it Katie or Caddy, Edward?
Katie.
Katie.
No,
Edward.
No affiliation because it's spelled differently.
From Katy Perry?
No, Katie Couplers.
Oh, Katie, gotcha. I'm an N scale guy, so I think micro trains first, and I missed the reference.
Micro Trains is made by Katie.
Not anymore. They used to be the same company. They used to be two brothers. The two brothers got into a fight, and they split the company in half. And one brother took the HOKD stuff, and the other brother took the N scale, stuff, which I think is kind of hilarious. Ray's saying, place your bet on the blue smoke. What powers the stationary decoder? Does each decoder need a separate power supply? So you can. So we'll look at the phone in a second. You can see I've got my iPhone case. So what I did for this one for today is my DCC signal is going to come in to signal, and then I've just jumped it over to the power.
That's what I've
you
done.
Can use DCC power to power it, which because this is such a small layout, that's what I'm going to do. But if you don't want to do that, you could just use a 12 volt DC power supply. I think it's up to 3 amps if I'm not mistaken. Per unit is up to 3 amps.
Yeah, I run it off of my DCC power as well because I have 15 amps. So
Yeah. So the only thing I would, if I was Frank, the only thing I would do is I would put like a PSX1 electronic circuit breaker.
Smart idea.
In line with your stationary decoders. So if you do short out one of your stationary decoders, you're not also shorting out one of your locomotives and having, issues there.
You know what I've noticed? What's interesting with the Protege Elite when I forget to throw a turnout or whatever, and the train tries to cross it and it shorts it out. MRC is pretty good about tripping itself and then resetting after a period of time.
They are, and I don't feel that I need to. I don't feel that I need to test that. The PSX1 circuit breakers are absolutely fantastic, and
you'll have to send me a link to them. I'll have to get one. 15 amps is a lot.
Yeah, no, exactly. That is exactly it. So
15 amps to your track.
The MRC Protege Elite system has, when it comes out of the box, it's set at 5 amps, but you can turn it up to 15 amps.
So of course you turned it up to 11.
I have it at 10.
So I just went to the App Store on the iPhone, typed in Digikeijs, and for some reason the app is under Entertainment, but we're going to try downloading this app and see.
We're watching it on your channel.
See what's happening. I mean, what can possibly go wrong?
Pay the cell phone bill?
Yeah.
So it says it would like to use Bluetooth. Application requires Bluetooth. Okay. And now it says Gatsu Gang Verwenden. Let's switch it to English. Now it says use app without account, create account, or sign in. Oh, so that's kind of cool. So I'm guessing. Don't quote me on this yet, but I'm guessing that you can create an account and then use the app on multiple devices, and it'll sync.
Probably
it'll sync to multiple devices. So.
Oh, well, here comes George, guys. I'm gonna get off of here.
All right, have fun, Frank.
All right, thanks.
So Split Rock says PSX circuit breakers are faster than frog juicers and can cause issues. Ask me how I know. Yes, and PSX circuit breakers are completely programmable, so you can control. You can control when they trip, so that you can have them work with frog juicers and all that kind of stuff. And they're programmable over DCC. And they can even give you a fault back over DCC. So if you're using JMRI, you can get a feedback that it's tripped somewhere. So no sponsorship by Apple. I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not doing that. But if you're into the tech stuff that I do, I will mention that I'm starting a channel where I'll put more of my tech stuff. So when I do my sort of tech tests, I'll probably do them over there instead of driving everyone over here crazy. So Michael has alerted emergency services, so when I do release the smoke, they'll be ready. So we're going to use the remote, or use the app without. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the boxes out of the way. So I am going to, let's see if I go to this camera, if we can see it. Yeah. So I've got the two DCC wires coming out of the stationary decoder, and I've got, this is the line that goes to my DR5000. So we are just going to track powers off. We're going to shove these into there. And so when I turn track power on, we should see this little power light come on. If we don't see that little power light come on, And no smoke, and I don't know if you can see it. There we go. The power light is on. There are also 3 LEDs on this guy that are not on this guy. This guy only really has the power and the programming LED. This also has a Bluetooth LED and a something else LED that I can't see because I can't see. A short. There you go. It'll show you if you've got a short. It'll show you if Bluetooth's connected, and it'll have a programming button. So let's.
Heath, I'm going to drop down to chat again because I don't want to have people see me cry when you blow it all up.
I appreciate that. Okay. I appreciate that. This is definitely going to be interesting. Talking Tech, I got my camera ordered. Some new videos are on the way. Yeah, I'm curious too. Michael's asking what camera you got, so let us know. I know Thomas Splitrock also got a new camera. So, all right, so let's hit the button. Show my device. Okay. Did everyone see how quickly that just happened? I don't think I've ever had anything Bluetooth ever happen that quickly in my life. So, hit the button. Device name. What should I call it?
Nothing you've ever done in a stream has happened that quickly.
I know, right? No, I was a little bit expecting that this could take me 4 hours to do. So it wants me to name this. So we're going to call it Z Scale Turnouts. Just because that's what we're going to do. Success. Device was saved. Okay. And I'm already, I don't know if I'm going to get any turnouts to work, but like look at this. Update firmware. Let's try that. Let's see. Please select your firmware.
That's going to be the problem right there, is updating the firmware.
No, don't stop it.
It's working perfectly for the update.
It says Fertig. Anyone know what Fertig means? I'm gonna click Fertig. So it's selected.
German to me.
Yeah, and Anthony Dodge is here. He'll tell me in a little bit what it means. But current firmware is 1.00. The latest is 1.01. I've selected 1.01, and we're gonna update the firmware. And the LEDs flashed. The LEDs are flashing. Oh, there we go. Fertig is ready. Oh, also means done. Oh, right. Like you selected it and then it's done. Gotcha. So, looks like we're back. Looks like we're connected. This is I don't like. I'm shocked. So start configuration. Load preset on all outputs, per output, custom, or save. So let's load on all. So it looks like it comes set for turnouts. But it's also got just on-off, 2 lights, signals. There you go, turnout motors. So if you want to use Tortoise. So the reason Norman's like, why don't they just say done or ready? Well, because this is probably an early version, and they didn't catch all the translation stuff. So from here, we can either open the switchboard, or we can set the device address. So let's set the device address. So start address is currently 1. I'm gonna change that to 101. I don't know for no reason except that just
you want to be able to make it sure you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. So now we open the switchboard. So here we go. Now here are my addresses. And well, you know what the next step is now that I got this all connected.
Blue smoke.
The next step is to I'm gonna wire in one of these guys. This is a 4101. This is the adapter. So I've got this wire here. I have absolutely no idea which of the turnouts it goes to because I didn't label anything, because why would I label things? That would have made my life easier. So talk amongst yourselves. I got some wire. I got my switch. I've got the little adapters. I'm gonna kill track power, and then let's wire this all up, and we'll see how it goes. What could go wrong, folks?
You sound so confident, Heath.
Why wouldn't I sound confident? I mean, you know.
Well, hopefully your confidence is higher than your confidence.
My confidence. Oh, my competence is higher than my confidence. Yes.
Yes.
Gotcha. I wouldn't count on it, but
You hope.
Well, your confidence is low. So, you know, hopefully your confidence is higher than that.
I have not had anything to drink yet today, so confidence is not too high.
Well, you got to make sure you stay hydrated.
Yes. Okay, so here we go. I am going to put my glasses on because this is Z Scale, right? I can't see what I'm doing. I think I hear Steve's trains in the background. Mark, I appreciate the confidence. At least somebody in here has some confidence in my abilities.
Well, a lot of stuff is plug and play these days. I mean, it's not like it was 10 years ago when they were just starting out.
I cannot believe how fast I was able to set up this DCC stationary decoder with everybody watching.
Yes.
Is it working?
Now, what do you think? What would happen 10 years ago?
Yeah, I know. Well, I would have had to open up a command line and do some programming. Do some programming myself and call the developer a couple times and AKA call Germany.
Yeah, and well, not only that, you would only have probably only one video webcam in standard definition.
Depending how long ago we're talking here, I probably wouldn't have any webcams or any cameras.
Be all the slideshow.
As somebody who's done a lot of tech support, I must say that having an iPhone and be able to just, FaceTime somebody or screen share makes things much easier. Heath would have burnt down the building. Not yet, but Dutch land is close to me, but I find it difficult to understand compared to German. Yeah, I don't know why Stream Elements is posting so many timers. I've got the interval set on these. Minimum amount of chat lines in the last 5 minutes to activate the timer, and then the online interval in minutes is 12 minutes. So I'll have to go back and I will go back and finish. Huh. I have to check out that. Okay, 10 years ago was 2011. iPhones existed, so did YouTube. That's true. If you want to go way back, it would be smoke signals. Well, so it should be different ones coming up every once in a while, but like I don't know why this one came up and then this one came up so soon after it. I definitely have to look at it, but 300 baud. I wish I started with 300 baud. I think I started with a 9.6K modem. That's
I started with a 1900.
That's where I started. Okay, so
I'm sort of dating myself here. I started out with a sort of I was sort of envied by people who had computers because I had a 2400 baud modem and everyone else had a 300 baud modem.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna hook this
with the phone you put in a cradle.
When I was a kid and my dad's office was switching over from punch cards, I would go in and I would set the computers up that involved setting up the modem that you would plug the phone into.
When the first time I had internet, it was AOL and it had all the kabong bong
Yeah.
while it was trying to connect.
I do not miss those sounds. Not one bit. Okay, so got it connected to the decoder. Martin says shuffle the key punch cards. Oh, that's too funny. Hey, hi from H&H Express Model N Scale Trains. Come on. There we go. Well, that was the hardest part so far, was lining up those 3 wires. Get them in here. So I am going to guess. Too funny. Tim, my first internet was on a flip phone. Yeah. All you kids have no idea. No idea, I tell you. What, Steve?
I have to laugh at phones.
Yeah. I remember how excited
my kids don't know how to dial a rotary phone.
Oh, those are some hilarious videos online. People that give rotary phones to their kids and film them trying to dial the phone. Really too funny.
I'd love to find a party line somewhere and have my kids can make a phone call.
Yep. Yeah. I never had party line, I don't believe.
I did. My dad worked for Illinois Bell. All right. And so we got touch-tone phones like 5 years before they ever market as part of the testing process.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'd use a rotary phone at a friend's house. But my aunt and uncle lived down in Arkansas, and they, in fact, did have party line. It was crazy.
Well, if Jason the Train Freak comes, we can ask him if they still have party line down there, if they've advanced past it or not. Was that mean?
Only in Jason's train shed.
Yeah, I remember Anthony's mentioning it now. In the first 3 houses, I remember on Anthony's show once he was talking about the party line. Wow, Hi from H&H says he still has a phone from 1959. I don't have a landline anymore. I don't even have one.
I don't either.
Like I don't know. Okay, so I think it's gonna be one of these two switches that are gonna throw. So I am gonna, if I could have silence for a moment, I'm gonna hit the button and we're gonna see.
No drum roll?
If people in the chat want to give a drum roll, I would appreciate it. If people want to bet on whether this is going to work on the first try or not work on the first try, that would be amusing.
Real quick, before you do that, Heath, I just want to let everybody know, if you guys want to meet me over on Discord chat, I'm starting a parlay on this. Either bet for it's going to burn the house down or it's going to work. Those are your two choices.
Do I get to bet on which one I'm hoping for?
Hey, parlay is completely anonymous. You use whatever screen name, and you know it is.
So
we're at we're only at 1 hour. Can you drag it out a little longer?
I'm trying. If you notice,
Normally
I talked.
Normally, you get something to work.
If you notice, I talked for a long time at the beginning of this stream, trying to drag out the blue smoke and the sparks. So what I'm worried about is,
normally you don't get something working that quick.
I think if anything blows up, I think it's going to be one of these switches. So the question is, do people want me to leave this view up where you can see the switches and the setup stuff? Do you want to just see the switches, or do you want to just see the thing when I turn this on? Which view would people?
The switch motors are underneath, right?
Yeah, they're inside the switch itself.
So we're not gonna see the smoke from them. Just leave it where you got
Maybe.
Because we can see it. If it's gonna throw or not.
So I appreciate that at least one person here thinks it's all just gonna work. Do you have a camera for Street View? We want to see the fire trucks coming. Michael McCarville wants to see the swimsuit models. Nisi says both views. Yeah, I think I'll leave it here because I think it'll be good to get my reaction as well when it starts smoking, and then you could watch me kind of run around trying to find something to put out the fire. Okay, so here we go.
We'll actually have this look of surprise of, oh my god, it actually works.
Yeah, that's probably that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. I am hoping I'm going to be surprised and it's all just going to work. So first thing is we'll see this power button come on, and then hopefully it'll connect to Bluetooth. Because let's see, yeah. So right now on the app, it turned from green to gray, I guess, showing that it's not connected. So I'm going to turn on the track power. So track power is on. Green light came on. This turned blue, which I'm assuming means it's connecting, and I don't see the Bluetooth light, but oh, there we go. So when you get into it, so open switchboard, and did you hear it?
I heard something.
Heard something.
Oh, I saw it move.
It wasn't a pop. Oh yeah, you can see it moving.
Yep. So all I'm toggling is the one. So the way I have it set up now, the way I have the wires wired up, when it's red, it's turning, and when it's green, it's straight. And what I'm gonna do, theoretically, I asked, and this should work, is if I can figure out what the other set of wires are for this turnout, I'm going to plug both these turnouts into the one output so that when I throw the one switch, they both throw together. So if people are interested, I will try that next and see if I can get both of them working.
For me, that's the best part about that system is that you can not just control a single turnout, but you can control multiple turnouts and have mainline crossings where you just hit one button and you're on the other main.
Yeah, and I mean, I am loving how simple this was to set up. I mean, maybe it's just me and maybe other people have things set up this easily when they do it, but this was by far the easiest thing I've ever set up as far as model railroading and DCC and all that stuff go. So tell me I'm wrong.
It was pretty.
That was easy.
So
it worked the way it was supposed to work.
yeah, here's the device, the Digikeijs DK50018 6-channel switch decoder. Yeah, it works obviously with all DCC brands, and it's a new type of smart switch decoder and can be configured through our new Digikeijs app, which is available on Android and iOS. So yeah, ongoing development on new presets based on user input, easily to change presets. I mean, you saw how easy it was to program this. So here we go. Input voltage, 12 to 24 volts DC or DCC rail voltage. Output current per output can be up to 3 amps, but the whole module is also rated to 3 amps. I'm not sure what MM is. I don't know. Does anyone know what MM is? I noticed up here it says as well, DC and MM protocol communication. Programming on main, CV programming is still available, so you don't need to use the app. You can use one or the other. It's using Bluetooth 4.1, and here's all the turnouts that it works with. Oh, even works with O-gauge stuff as well. And this is basically the Kato method is the method I'm using with this. Here we go. 8 switch control for motors, 16 outputs for fluorescent lighting effects or without the fluorescent lighting effects. 8 something for Dutch signals. Works with JMRI, Rockrail, etc. So,
I'm just curious, guys. The brand Digikeijs, are they from Holland? Because I see a lot of German and Dutch.
can you see right here on the screen? Manufactured in Netherlands.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah. So. Digikeijs is a Holland-based company. Iron Planet Hobbies is the U.S. Importer of Digikeijs. And I got in touch with Iron Planet Hobbies because I was looking for a DCC control system, and I didn't want to be limited to either Digitrax or NCE or, whatever. And the DR5000 allows you to be multi-protocol. So I went with Digikeijs, and I've just kind of built up a relationship over time. So I do have, you can't see that because I'm so small, but I do have, Digitrax throttles, and I can use Digitrax throttles with the Digikeijs system. So I should be able to, is there a battery in this? Yes. You know what? Who wants to have fun? I'm going to see if I can throw this turnout with the Digitrax throttle. Because I like living on the edge. Yeah, people are saying MM is just another control probe.
I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to.
I don't either. It's just sort
You
of.
may have more setup to do. I don't know.
I'm I guess more sort of trying this out just to sort of complete the circle to see if just to sort of show all the steps all the way through the process. And I'm realizing, of course, now I probably should have recorded this and cut this down into a little 10-minute video to upload, but you know, we are where we are. Okay, so switch 101 thrown. Nothing happened. Closed. Nothing happened.
I think it's because you're still connected with your phone.
So you think it won't work with both devices connected?
It's possible that it's on Bluetooth mode and it won't work on the other mode.
Yeah, I would assume that prevents a race condition.
That's interesting. Now it's showing short. When I hit it, the short light's coming on. That's interesting. Oh, and I smell
smoke.
I smell smoke. Yeah, I think this turnout has melted the ability to throw it. Because now the little throw bar won't move, where like this one it just moves easily. This guy seems to have melted. So that's interesting. Oh yeah, definitely smell smoke. Yep, we've definitely fried
What
this
a
turnout.
chip. We didn't even get to see any smoke.
Boy, man, that was disappointing. It was working so well until it fried.
Didn't even see any smoke.
I know.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
That needs
Do you
to be
think
a
you
quote.
could like
A Heath quote.
It was working until it fried.
Working
it's
so
working
good until it fried.
Yeah. So the next question to figure out is, I just noticed while I was smelling the smoke, we got a couple super chats. Thank you guys so much. Boulder Creek Yard, get those desk wheels, and Andy chipping in for the wheels as well. We can see the little bar on the side slowly climbing up to reach that goal. What particularly made you laugh there, Dragon Ball? Yeah, the controller did not fry. So here's my guess as to what happened. I'm gonna guess that these Rokuhan devices probably require a much lower voltage. We're probably sending them too many volts, would be my guess. And that's why they fried. So I need to do a little research and figure out what the voltage of these actually are to be able to throw them. So DB Tech says that turnout melted made me laugh. I melted an N-scale engine once. So
Here, I brought a marshmallow for.
jeez. Oh man, he really literally has a marshmallow ready.
Andy E. Is Andy E still on?
Yep.
Yeah, that's who. That's
Oh, there
who's
you are.
showing the marshmallows. Andy E.
I was gonna say, Andy, let us know if you hear sirens.
Yeah.
I think the helicopters are on their way.
So is that turnout completely fried?
Yeah.
So since we didn't get to see
Now,
any
can you
actual
change out-
smoke, can we get you to like take it up on the roof and like set it on fire or something?
Oh, jeez. What the?
Like maybe in
Video.
another video, not right now. It was just kind of disappointing, no smoke. You know, I was hoping to see a
Another
fire
one was
extinguisher, something used.
Yeah, I do get a fire extinguisher.
So the lighting. So he's bringing up that the lighting looked a little bit red, and if I go back to my view, this lighting on the background is all red. So that's what you're seeing in the background lighting on it. I don't think it was actually glowing. The good news is that I can still kind of throw it manually. The bad news is, of course, that it's all glued down and wired in, and now I have to figure out how to pull
So
it.
do you have to replace the whole switch or just a motor?
Yeah, so Roy brings up a good point. I'll just replace the switch. Roy brings up a good point. Those turnouts have a solenoid in them and will melt with constant power applied. And I guess that's... I thought... I don't know. But I thought, let's disconnect this and let's take a little look. Because, I mean, maybe that is... maybe that was part of the issue, right? I mean...
Yeah, I was gonna say my usually when they're twin coil or something like that, I don't know what the internals are in it, but if you have a simple twin coil and all that, basically you're only applying just applying a pulse of power into it.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what I assumed that turnout feature, we'll call it, was doing. But maybe that's not going to fit in there, so we need to...
It seems that there must be a way to change it from pulse over to direct current and back, because you got some turnouts that are controlled by a tortoise that requires a constant power, but then like an Atlas turnout with the snap switch, you only have the switch that they provide you to change the turnout. You just put it into place and then press it for a second, and they tell you don't hold it down.
The setting that I was on, I thought that was what the setting I had set. So what I'm doing is I'm making a little jumper. I'm going to hook up the multimeter. So this is probably what I should have done first. Is I probably should have hooked up the multimeter first and confirmed that it was a wasn't on all the time. Confirmed that it was just just a momentary.
20/20 hindsight.
So that would be the lesson for this. Is use the multimeter, use the tool that's designed to prevent what I just did.
Also, another thing is use it on a switch that's not glued down.
The switch is glued down for the most part.
No, I'm saying use a extra switch.
Yeah. I don't have an extra switch.
All right, that explains that.
But yes, if I did have an extra switch, that would be awesome as well. So let's.
Well, it looks like you need a new switch anyway, so buy two.
Yeah, right. They come from Japan.
I don't think there's room in that apartment for an extra turnout.
Not really. And of course they're not cheap at all. So somebody was asking if they're AC or DC. Our assumption is that they're just like other 2-wire switches, like the Kados and whatnot. But I honestly have no idea. But that's, we're gonna find out. We are gonna find out.
Yeah, because Atlas would run AC on AC as an example.
Correct. Yes. There we go. Okay, so we're connected. It's on. Can people see the? Gotta. Okay. The lighting's okay there. We'll go here. So open switchboard. It's connected. So if you notice, it is momentary. I don't know if you can see that on the, or at least I should say it's momentary on DC. Let's see. Here's AC.
Well, the switch to the switch is what makes it momentary or
yeah. So this is yeah. So I'm basically at 150 millivolts AC. When I hit the button, it does go up. Let's turn on. So record max. It seems to be. I don't know what the. Oh, here, hold. That's what I want. So I guess it is AC. Hold. It is momentary. I mean, you can see the bar along the bottom. It goes up momentarily and goes out both on AC and DC.
Hey Heath, while you're doing that, can you try to hook up your TCS controller and see if it does momentary also?
Yeah, I was going to suggest that also.
Because perhaps whenever it changes modes from the Bluetooth over to the regular controller, maybe it changes the settings too.
It's the Digikeijs is the actual switch for the switch. So if it's momentary,
yeah, I mean it should just be
either. I would think
it should function the same. Oh, I'm like, why isn't this working if they don't have the wireless?
So it's not the easiest thing to set up ever, after all.
Well, no. So I don't think that there's nothing wrong with this. I don't think. I think it's just I sent too much voltage into the switch, but it's hard to know because. Oh, interesting. You see the DC voltage? It's much longer.
So there is a difference.
It does appear that. Let's well, that's interesting. Open switchboard. So let's see if I can do it. Yeah, so this controlled by the app is virtually instantaneous. You can see it, spike and then go out. Yeah, so it does look like when you're connected via the app, it won't let you. But yeah, so that's what it is. Interesting. So I have to. Yeah, so it's long enough to fry it when I used the. Use this.
Is that parameter adjustable?
Well, and that's what Adam's saying. Digitrak settings need to change. It's like I don't know where the issue is. I don't know if the issue is between, like, is Digitrak sending the command for? No, Digitrax the throttle is the throttle sending the command for longer.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Which is keeping it open. Now so the Digitrax throttle is connected to a Digikeijs command station. Right. But maybe the Digitrax throttle, when you click the thrown button, it's sending that command like 20 times or 50 times, which is what's keeping the voltage up.
Yeah, but that's still controllable by Digikeijs.
Correct. It is still being controlled by Digikeijs.
And if
you would think the logic in this, should be what controls how long it outputs for. So irregardless of how long the on or off signal is, this should control it. And unfortunately, I do not have a scope. That's something I've always wanted to get, but never have. So
you can find
Roy's comment.
Cheap.
It was probably a combination of the DCC control being too long and too much voltage. Yeah, it could have been a combination of both. I mean, you could see it sending 13 volts DC for a pretty considerable amount of time. That's a good amount of voltage there.
I guess for a quick fix, you could just put resistors in between the Digikeijs and the turnout.
Oh, interesting. Yep. That would probably be a solution. Ironically, I did just get, and I'm trying to... here we go. Let's see if I get this to open over here. I did just get this sent to me in an email from Digitrax. I have not looked at it, but let's see. Here it says, here's the Digitrax throttle options settings. So,
does it say do not attempt to use with the Digikeijs turnout controller until you've read this email?
I don't know, but let's take a look.
Momentary switching or
so key clicks, duplex, fast clock, LCD awake, key static, spare. This is all new. Okay, so loco steps, beeps, and set to factory default. So no, there is no there's nothing about setting switch time. Well,
is the
on that note, it's 1:00. Go ahead, Shane.
Is the Digikeijs turnout controller, is it something you can hook up to your computer and adjust parameters and settings?
It is. I don't know if they're different. If you don't have a scope, Listerine would work too, or chewing gum. Isn't Z Scale stuff lower voltage than N? It is, and that's probably where I ran into a problem, is that Z Scale stuff is 10 volts, and I've got this set right now on 13 volts. So the increase in voltage and the length of time by going to... I should make myself bigger so you can see. The increase in voltage and the length of time is probably what did me in.
Yeah, but even HO is 12 volt. We all run them at 14 to 15 volts. So.
Well, correct, and I kind of, I guess my my assumption a little bit was that the very short sort of trigger that it was going to set off wouldn't really matter because it wouldn't actually ever hit that. the issue with the high voltage is the heat, right? It melted it. It wasn't, something else. So it was just, it heated up too much and couldn't dissipate the heat. So Tim says he fried a switch, broke my window a full day, and now he can take a nap. Man, I would love to take a nap. I've got to go. I got to go run some errands after this. But all right. So who's got any more thoughts on what tests I should have done before I blew this up, or what I could have done differently? But I don't know about anybody else. I learned a lot. I did talk to Digikeijs before I did this, and we thought that it would probably we thought it would be fine. Apparently not.
Here's a thought, Heath. Somebody said earlier you can get the solenoids for those turnouts and just replace the solenoids. So
I don't know about with the Rokuhan ones. I can.
Well, if you can, just get the part that controls the turnout and then use that for your testing instead of having to buy a whole turnout.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And you could do the same with maybe an Atlas snap switch if you needed to test on that, or, it'd just be a lot cheaper than buying a whole turnout.
It sure would. These turnouts are not cheap. That is for sure.
Then you gotta wait. You gotta wait a month to get them.
So let's see. During this stream, I made $20.93, and I blew up probably $23.98. So at least I probably broke even-ish if you don't count the shipping costs to get the turnout here. So I don't know about anybody else, but I learned something. That's for sure.
You would have got more money if we could have seen some smoke.
So Steve, as I am wrapping this up, it's 1:00, and that's usually my time to jump off. I know Anthony Dodge has his show coming up at 3:30. I know there are a couple other live streams tonight. You can go back and check those out. Roy, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh man. Well, I hope at least it was worth the entertainment. The Switch. Maybe in Roy's honor, I will go set this one on fire outside or something, and we'll have a little fun with it. But,
Yes.
Get it on video. Fire extinguisher.
Well, the thing is, you can turn around and name the crossover Roy's crossover.
Oh, there you go.
Roy's Crossing.
I'll pull all the rails off of it or something, and I'll make it like a little junk pile, as if they came by and had to rip the switch out and put the switch back together. Yeah. Mark's saying on my Amazon wish list is now a new switch. Oh, too funny. Thank you, Andy, for contributing. I don't remember exactly what these costs, but I think I have the money to cover that.
That's for the extra turnout.
Yeah, I probably won't tear this apart until the new turnout comes in, so I probably won't post the video tonight because it will work if I want to run trains. Joey says I should name this Eltham Junction. This turnout spot. So I wonder if you stayed on the phone app and also used the Y throttle app to run trains with Doge. Yeah, that would be interesting to try too. There are lots of options. You can send the switch over to Big Bill's layout for a scrapyard. Yeah, exactly. Andy just looked him up. Oh, $50 for a turnout. Okay, there you go. $50 for a Z Scale turnout. Isn't that crazy?
Ouch.
Dude, why did I get into Z Scale? Whose bright idea was it to get into so many multiple scales?
It wasn't me.
But it's actually we have we have 3 HO guys, 1 O scale guy, and Edward, I don't remember what scale you are.
HO.
HO. Okay, so a bunch of HO guys, an O scale guy, and I have a mishmash of things to blow up. So Andy says because you're nuts. I thought you.
Who here is sane?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Good point, Edward.
I think if we went through all of the model railroaders in the model railroading community and we pulled together who all the sane ones were, it would be a very very small group. So, yeah. Okay. So I am going to try and wrap this up. I do have some things I have to clean up because around here you have to clean everything up before you can close everything up. As Nisi says, she's learning what not to do.
That's an important lesson.
It is so important, and you know, I'm glad that it's at my expense and not at your own expense. Andy says, "Insane, please." I'm saying it's been way too much time, way too much money, way too much of a lot of things. And Sarah's Attics of Treasures, absolutely, it is no fun being sane. Thomas says those O-Scale coaches by Andy are looking amazing. Yeah, Andy, you'll have to come if you can on a Monday night. We'll have to get you on and for Modeling Monday, and we can talk to you more about that build that you're putting together. I think setting off an M80 in New York City, probably not the best decision.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
If you set one off on my street,
where I'm at, nobody would notice, but yeah.
Aren't fireworks in New York City illegal?
They very much are. They very much are.
You wouldn't know it though.
Thomas says send the turnout back to the manufacturer. The manufacturer likely only speaks Japanese. I probably wouldn't even be able to explain what the problem was. But yeah. Okay, so here's a little challenge for people. I'm going to give everyone up on the board a chance to sort of talk about what's going on in their life. Then I'm going to roll the end credits. Somebody has noticed there's a spelling error in the slides that I run during the end credits. So if people want to check out the end credits and see if they can find my spelling error, you'll win absolutely nothing, but it'll be fun. So let's start with Steve. Steve, tips of the week. What you got coming out? What's going on in your world?
As soon as I get off of this stream, I've got one to upload, and it has to deal with post ballasting. You know, how to clean up and do in that regard. So at least what my process is. And me today during this stream was just a continuation of the final stage of that. So, but as far as the spelling error, I can't find my own spelling errors, and you want me to look for yours?
Yeah. Why not?
Because I can't find my own, let alone yours.
I know. It's fun though. I like working in all the different scales because every scale is different. So it's this is fun. So Shane, how are your locomotive and your YouTube train projects going, and what are you up to?
Well, like I said, I just got some funds in to be able to buy some turnouts and some track and some other things to finish the layout. Within the next couple weeks, I'm going to have a layout update video just to show where I'm at on the progress. Tomorrow, I'm going to this open house. I'm making a video on that too. So it's the same club that I made a video on before where they did an open house. I'm just going back. I'm going to get a little more in depth, do some interviews with the club members and stuff like that.
Okay.
So this couple weeks, I should have a couple videos coming out.
Awesome. Awesome.
One more thing.
Yes.
I know I always mention these, but in my area, like I said, there's an open house tomorrow for a railroad club. It's in Athens. Anybody that's in the area, Athens, Ohio. It's 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Athens Mall if you want to go. May 15th is Ohio N Scale at the Columbus Fairgrounds. And then this is a little ways off, but I'm excited about it. The Lancaster Hobby Expo is happening on August 7th. We didn't have one of those last year, so everybody's pretty fired up for that one.
Awesome. Andy E, what's next on the plans? When are you starting the YouTube channel? When are you going to make your first upload? And what else you got going on?
Well, I don't have any plans for a YouTube channel just yet, but I did find something, if anybody's doing British O scale. Vertical blinds, level or vertical blinds. They're vinyl, and if you cut them up, they're curved, and they make perfect roofs. You can just cut them with an X-Acto knife. So that's what I ended up using on these.
Cool.
We've got interiors and then a roof I can just pop right on, and my train club, the New York Society of Model Engineers, is having an open house on the 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th of next month, and 1 to 6, Carlstadt, New Jersey.
Yeah, so if people don't know, the New York City Model Engineers, which is the New York City Model Railroading Club, is based in New Jersey. Because...
well, that doesn't add to the tension between Jersey and New York.
Andy, do you know, was it ever actually on the island of Manhattan, or was it always outside somewhere?
It was actually one of the robber barons, like Astor, I think, was one of the members in 1926 when it opened, and they were in the basement of the building in Times Square. And then they moved several times. So they were based in New York City. They actually were some of the group that started the model boat basin in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
So the same group.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. That's really cool. I did not know that history. But yeah, the club Andy's talking about is HO and 2-rail O scale. 2-rail O scale, right? But they don't have a lot of N scale. So when I was looking for a club, I did go there and check them out. All of their HO scale layout is hand-laid track. It's a pretty impressive HO scale layout. Pretty cool O scale layout as well. They have a lot of rolling stock in O scale. But I wanted a club with more N scale, so there's a N scale and HO scale club in Union, New Jersey that is a little further away that I usually head out to. But let's go with Paul's on vacation. Dave P is covering for him today.
Yeah. Well, the barn's on temporary hold.
Temporary meaning like
Uh-oh.
5 years, or
No.
like meaning a week or so?
Maybe about 3-4 weeks. Because I'm starting something else for the second part of Jack's competition.
Yep.
So I'm starting something new. So that the barn's going to be hold off until that's done. Then my railroad club's having an open house and flea market next Saturday the 1st. Coon Rapids, Minnesota.
Minnesota, yep.
Yep. Other than that, that's about all that's going on.
Awesome. I'll keep calling you Dave as much as I can remember to do so.
Okay.
Edward, Katie Coupler.
Yes.
What's going on with you?
Well, I want to show this cute little thing I've made years ago and all that. I mean, everyone recognizes this half of it. You know, your average KD wheel cleaner and all that. But I added something at that I don't think they make anymore because it was designed for analog televisions. But it's a thing that, you know, there was the small little thing that would you would have two screws in the back of the television, and this would clip on either straight forward or on the sides. But all right.
For antenna.
Yes, for the antenna. However, the good news about it is, I mean, it works in HO. I'm assuming it works in N and all that. But the clamp could also clamp directly onto the rail. So you can grab power, clean off your wheels and all that, and just take it back off.
Well, now you have to send us a link where we can find one of those devices, because I don't know that anybody knows.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That unfortunately, this is over 10 years old, so I have no idea where you would get this now. I think I almost want to say I got this at Radio Shack, but that was a while ago. And also, more interesting news is while you're closing down, I put in the last spike for my cork road bed. So as soon as that's drying, I can actually start laying down track.
Nice. We'll look forward to that in the future then.
Yep. Also, this weekend, I guess the Pacific
Coast region. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Andy's been here. It is right here. Andy Ambrose posted up the information.
Yep.
So yeah, and you do have to register for it. So
yep. I'm registered.
Yeah, and Joey is saying, yeah, you could just use alligator clips, which is, you know, like I just have some of these alligator clips. Those would definitely probably work as well.
Or another thing.
Work, but what Edwards clamp is just so easy and quick. You can find one of those, and then you wire your test leads, one on each of the terminals of that clamp, and then boom, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's.
You could probably also make a homemade one using a good old-fashioned wooden clamps or wooden clothesline things. Because, I mean, if you actually look at it, it looks like that's what they actually did here. Is that they actually took a plastic clothesline thing and wrapped around metal on it.
Yep. Yep. So, well, thank you so much, everybody. Andy's asking if they're the same company. I do not believe Rokuhan and Roku are the same company. Roku is in, I believe, the UK or Germany, and Rokuhan is a Japanese company.
And they're spelled way different too. Roko's ROCO and Rokuhan is like ROK, isn't it?
Yeah, ROKUHAN. Yep. So I believe they're. I do not believe there is any relationship between them, but Andy or Thomas, send me an email and I'll send you the link and you can see. I'll figure out, because there are two different turnouts. There's a big turnout, which is what this one is, and then there's a little turnout. I'm saying which this one is, and nobody can see what I'm pointing at. The turnouts here for my crossovers are the longer turnouts, and then I've got a shorter turnout in here for my. What do you call that? Siding. So this is a much shorter turnout than this guy over here is. I was just looking. This is unfortunately the same kind of turnout, but it's in the wrong direction, so that's not going to work to replace it. But anyway, it's all good. Thank you everyone for coming today. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to wrap this up. Check out the end screen. See if you can find the spelling error. Maybe I'll put a spelling error in a different one each week, so give people something to look for. But thanks for all the.
Another idea: put a spelling error in the thing that's going across the bottom, and see if anyone catches that one.
The thing across the bottom is auto fed based on people's people's channel names. So it would have to be somebody spelling their channel name wrong. So yeah. I do need to get out of here though, but thank you everyone for coming by. I much appreciate it, and I will catch everybody. What is today? Friday. I'll catch everyone for Modeling Monday, and have a great weekend. And that's yeah.
Bye,
Thanks so
everybody.
much.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.